Hey guys, my name is Loveless, and this time we're going to do another crack fic. Somehow I'm just finding all the crack fics ever. This one's kind of short, as 4 parts. I was thinking about just putting it all, like doing 2 chapters in one video because it was so short, but I'm gonna just do like rapid fire posting, where I post my normal stuff and I'm posting this. So I'm gonna try to do this as quickly as possible because these are just like quality stuff, I swear. Okay, so this one is called An Angry Midoriya is Scary. Um, it's, I do not know how to say the name. I'll put it in the description. I'm gonna like mess it up if I try, so I'm just not. Midoriya was not known to be an angry person. Even when he was little, he learned to be nice and smiled even when angry from his mother. She told him it was important to know how to control your anger and use it when it truly mattered. Now, Inko Midoriya had years of experience to know when she should truly be upset and let it be known. However, her son was not the same. So even when he was bullied, he didn't think that it would be the right time to be very angry and use it. But he made sure to watch how his mother would show her anger and have mastered that ability, even though he never did use it. So no one really saw Midoriya angry, not even Bakugo. And if he did, then he would have never continued calling him Deku. Instead, Midoriya was known to being the nicest person in Class 1A. He was referred to as a cinnamon roll, since he was so sweet to everyone. He was also known as someone who loved their friends and would go beyond to help them. Although it seemed as they forgot how scary smart he was and how fierce he was in a fight. And people seemed to forget that he was like them and he could get angry. He did get angry, even if he doesn't show it. So, least to say, Class 1A and everyone who know Midoriya didn't know what to do in a situation that they were currently in. A couple of them were scared, not recognizing the look in Midoriya's face. But for context, this is what happened. Everyone was in the common room. It was a Friday, and many of the students were excited for their break that weekend would bring. Also, the opportunity to hang out with your friends outside of a school setting. Least to say, there was a lot of talking. All the while, Midoriya was simply sitting and taking in the scene of his friends and classmates. He was happy. That is, until he heard the resident pervert say something. It was something that Midoriya was used to. He heard as Mineta talked about the news story he read where a student had killed themselves and how bad he felt, until he read the student was quirkless. He continued to say that the student did the right thing, opening up space for someone who is actually useful, who would contribute something to society. He even talked about how the article had said that the student had been baited by other students, and Mineta thought those students did society a favor in telling the quirkless kid to go kill themselves. Mineta said all this to Kaminari and Sero, who looked very uncomfortable, not listening to them when they tried to interrupt him and say he shouldn't say things like that. Mineta didn't seem to care, and went on sharing his opinions. All the while, totally unaware that his classmate, Midoriya, was someone who was quirkless and had been suicide baited so many times in his life. Someone who had been bullied and bruised and scared by classmates who deemed their responsibility to remind the quirkless boy of how worthless he was. To tell him that he should do everyone a favor and die. Midoriya was angry. He didn't need his mother telling him that this was the time to be angry and do something about it. So, in Midoriya fashion, he did. Taking on a dead-eyed stare that he seen only a handful of times on his mother's face. And he walked up behind Mineta, who was in front of the other 2 uncomfortable boys. It was obvious when Sero and Kaminari took notice of him, how they paled and seemed to want anything but to be there. Meanwhile, Mineta was still speaking, until he finally saw the looks on the boy's face. And he asked what was wrong. Then Mineta turned around. The room was quiet, everyone taking note of the shift in mood. They watched as Class 1A cinnamon roll seemed to be the source of the suffocating, awful aura. They watched as, along with the dead eyes, he smiled, sickeningly sweet. That was anything but innocent. Also, something he'd seen from his mother. Mineta shrieked when he saw Midoriya smile. "Mineta," he said in a sweet voice that at a time seemed to drag a knife along your skin and made you want to run away. "You've been a real pain in this class, especially to the girls who have repeatedly asked you to respect them and their privacy, while you have completely ignored that. And I thought you should have been kicked out a long time ago, because in my eyes, you are not fit to be a hero. But Aizawa Sensei and the other teachers thought you had potential, so I didn't say anything." Midoriya paused and looked into Mineta's eyes in silence and then spoke again. "But now, having just heard what you said, I've come to the conclusion that you have absolutely zero potential and have no fucking idea what you're talking about. It is clear that you cannot be a hero. So unless you want me to do something that I might regret, you are going to go to Aizawa Sensei and tell him what you said, all of it, and deal with the consequences. Unless..." Midoriya crouched down to be eye level with Mineta and smiled again. "You want me to?" Still crouching down, smiling, Midoriya watched as a dangerously pale Mineta stumbled backwards and out of the dorm building's doors, supposedly to go tell Aizawa what he said. The suffocating aura still there. Then it was gone. Midoriya sighed, face back to normal, dead eyes and sickening smile gone. He got up from his crouch position, turned around, and walked past everyone and went up the stairs to his room. The eyes of silent classmates watched him go into the elevator, and the elevator doors closed before they dared let themselves breathe normally again. Did you guys see that? I didn't just imagine that, right?" Kaminari asked, looking at the rest of his classmates. Everyone nodded. Midoriya was angry, Mina said in disbelief. "And he never gets angry." "Did you guys forget that he's like us?" Sarah responded. "Of course he gets angry. Everyone gets angry. I guess he's really good at hiding it." "Yeah, I guess." That was the general thought everyone was having in the common room. They were reminded that Midoriya was in fact a regular person who could get angry, but they couldn't get the image of Midoriya's face out of their mind, or how they felt like they couldn't breathe, and how they wanted to run when Midoriya had smiled and spoke. The sunshine boy of Class 1A was scary when he got angry. Woo! Yeah! Hell yeah! Yeah! Oh, I got it. Oh man, I'm loving this. I think this might be my best reading yet, because I'm like just all into it. I'm making sure that I'm reading it slowly. I'm taking my time. So, hey, so guys, tell me if I'm doing better. Tell me if I'm doing something right. Because I feel like I did good this time. I will be posting the next one very quickly. I'm just doing rapid fire posts at the moment because I am like fired up. So if you want to see more of this, you know what to do.